done till the human ear. Till which portion we had reached? We had reached, I think, till the loudness and pitch. So in today's class, we will do what is shrill and what are the high pitch and the higher pitch sounds. So the difference, we had done this. The different sounds which are produced have got different amplitude, and we did that the loudness of the sound depends on the amplitude. So we did that the loudness of the sound depends on amplitude. When the amplitude is large, then the sound is also large. And here we had done that the frequency determines the shrillness or pitch of a sound. Compare the sound of a baby with that of an adult. There is a difference. So the sound of a baby and the sound of an adult are both different. If you listen to their sounds carefully, you will observe that the sound produced by a baby is very shrill. And shrill means that it is very sharp sound. The frequency If the frequency of vibration is high, we will say that the sound is shrill and has a high pitch. If the frequency of vibration is low, then the sound has a low pitch. This portion in your book mark important. This is important in the way that you will understand why is the sound of different type. The frequency determines, there is a picture shown here that when you blow a whistle and when you beat a drum, both the sounds are different. If this person is standing next to you and the person who's blowing next to you, who's blowing a whistle, the sound produced by the whistle may irritate you because the sound produced will be shrill. So in this book and in especially 8th class, you are doing the basic of the types of sound. You are not doing detail. If the frequency of vibration is high, then the sound is shrill and has a high pitch. So normally females and small children have got high pitch sound. If the frequency of vibration is low, then the sound is high pitch. So a drum vibrates with a low frequency. So sound produced by a drum is of a low frequency and therefore it is low pitch sound. On the other hand, a whistle has a high frequency and therefore it is very shrill. Then a bird makes a high pitch sound whereas a lion makes a low pitch roar. However, the roar of a lion is very loud while the sound of the bird is feeble. So we found that high pitch sound and low pitch sound and the lion sound produced by the lion are both depending upon the frequency. So every day you hear different types of sound and the sound of an adult and high frequency and low frequency. So normally we say that the sound produced by children and the sound produced by a woman have a high frequency because high frequency sound have got low frequency, low pitch or high pitch. It has. So you have to remember this portion of your book. So this is important. So remember that the frequency of vibration is high, then the sound is shrill. And if the frequency is low, then the sound has low pitch. So one example of high pitch and low pitch is given here. The pitch of a whistle and that is given. Now there are different types of sound. Yes, children and women have got different types of sound. So when we hear sounds, some of the sounds we can hear and some of the sounds we don't hear. So audible and inaudible sounds means those which we can hear and those which we cannot hear. Can we hear the sound of all bodies? No, we don't hear all the sounds. We simple example is you cannot hear the sound of moving of blood in your body. You don't hear the sound of moving of muscles in your body. The fact is that the sound of frequencies which are less than 20 vibrations per second. We did this number of vibrations. So if any object is vibrating less than 20 times, then we will not be able to hear them. The sound which is having frequency less than 20 vibrations, which means 20 hertz, cannot be detected. So we are not able to detect those sounds. They are called inaudible sounds. And the sounds which we cannot hear, we cannot perceive them, we cannot even detect them. These are called inaudible sounds. On the higher side, the sound of frequencies higher than 20,000 are also not audible. So there are three types. We can say, I will start from the lower side. The sound which is of 20 hertz and the sound which is of 20,000 hertz. The sound which is having vibrations, number of vibrations are 20 times in 1 second, and the vibrations which are 20,000 times in 1 second. So if the sound is less than 20 and more than 20, we can hear only the sound between this range. So they are audible. The sounds which are less than 20 hertz are called infrasonics, whose vibrations are less than 20. Whose vibrations are more than 20,000, they are called ultrasonics. So there are three types of sound: infrasonics, audible sounds, and ultrasonic. Ultrasound word you must have heard. So these are the three sounds. The sound which are less than 20 hertz, they are called infrasound. Those which are more than 20, human ear we can detect, and we can hear only the sounds up to 20,000 hertz. So they are audible sounds. And the sound which are more than 20,000, those also we can't hear. They are called ultrasonics or ultrasound. Ultrasound word you must have heard in medicine. It is a test which is done to detect inside your body. So in this part of your book, that is given. Human ear, the range of audible frequency is roughly from 20 to 20,000 hertz. So why we cannot hear when we can hear 20,000? Why we cannot hear 21,000? What do you think is the reason? If we can hear till 20,000 hertz, then why we cannot hear till 21,000? The reason is that we read that human ear has got an eardrum, so it vibrates up to some frequency. So if the vibration is more, then our brain is not able to detect the sound, and therefore those sounds which we cannot hear, there are sounds which animals can hear. Some animals can hear sounds of frequencies higher than 20,000 hertz, like dogs. The police use high frequency whistles. So you must have heard that dogs can perceive sound which humans cannot perceive, because they have their natural sense is very strong. The policemen, they use a special whistle which they blow and only the dogs can hear. The ultrasonic equipment which is used for investigating and checking the body, it is used for detecting the parts inside our body. So how does it work? The ultrasound is nothing, it is a machine which produces a sound. These vibrations, the doctor uses a machine. These vibrations are sent inside our body, and they make a sound which, if I explain it with the diagram form, then the vibrations are sent and they reach the body organ where they hit the body part, and then they are sent back. So now the machine knows that if the sound is hitting, suppose your heart or your kidney, then the reflecting sound or vibration which will come back will have a particular range. If there is any defect in the organ, then the reflecting sound will change its frequency, or its sharpness will change. Therefore, the doctor perceives that there is a change in the, and he detects that there is a disease or abnormality. So whenever ultrasound is done to detect the inside of the body. Ultrasounds are safe for us. You know that children who have not born, mothers, they take get their ultrasound done. They detect the child inside the body. So that is the use of ultrasound, and this is how ultrasonic sounds are useful. Ultrasonic sounds which are not mentioned here, they are also used to detect uh, machines, and the machines, if they have any defect inside, that is detected with the help of ultrasound. Like if you have made engine of a machine and you want to detect what is inside the, if there is any defect inside the engine, then you will use this, then you will use ultrasound. The ultrasounds will pass through the hole. If there is any small crack inside the machine, the ultrasounds rays will not be reflected, and then you will come to know where is the defect. These are some uses of the sounds. Next, based on the sound, we come to the next part, which is called the noise and music. So we hear different type of sounds around us, and the sound is always pleasing. No, sometimes the noise is more. And what is the difference between noise and music? The simple difference is that sound which is pleasant to ear, that is called music, and the sound which is unpleasant, that is called noise. Suppose there is a construction work going on in your neighborhood. Are the sounds coming from the construction pleasing? So at times they are, well, not at times, every time they are unpleasing. Do you enjoy the sound produced by horns of buses? No, we don't like. But when we play the sound, then we don't bother. Such unpleasant sounds are called noise. In a class, if all the students speak together, then it will be noise. On the other hand, you enjoy sounds from musical instruments, which is called musical sound. The sound produced by a harmonium is a musical sound. The string of a sitar also gives musical sound. But if a musical sound becomes too loud, then it will be called noise. So when is a musical sound noise? Now you will say that I like to hear rock music. Other one will say I hate rock music. It is a noise. That is depending on the perception, the type of music, but mostly the sound which is regular, that is called musical. And when it becomes not symbolic, it is when the sound is not synchronized. In other words, like if everyone is speaking the same word with the same speed, then it will be music. Like if everyone is speaking together in a class, it will be noise. But if everyone is speaking with the same speed, with the same frequency, then it will become music. When does this happen? When everyone sings the same. When you sing a birthday song, then everyone sings the same thing. So then it is a music. So then it does not remain noise. Okay, so the sound produced harmonium, the word harmonium is harmonically, which is synchronized or balanced, then it is called a musical sound. So the difference between noise and music is that musical sounds are synchronized and they are balanced, and they are not unsynchronized. They are having every sound is in a synchronized manner. So whenever a musical instrument is played, different notes are produced. Those notes have to be synchronized. High note and low note, high frequency and low frequency. If anyone does not know how to play a musical instrument, then that will become a noise. But if someone knows how to play the instrument, then he will play it in a synchronized manner, then it will be called a music. So there is a slight difference between noise, musical note, and a noise music. Okay, so there is in this portion of noise and music, there is not too much detail given. Otherwise, this portion is itself a detailed topic where you will understand what is music and how does it become noise. So you are reading basically a small portion of the sound. You are not reading detailed portion, and that is how it is simple. So we will continue the next portion of this topic in the next class. Join us, and if you have any query, type below this video. See you in the next class. Goodbye and take care.